Afternoon and welcome to this beginner's bridge vid session where today I'm looking at BBO and basically some of the functions that there are on BBO that you might not know about, and what I'm going to do is basically work through those, bid and play a few hands, and at the end finish up with the weekly free instant tournament. So if you do play the weekly free tournament and you haven't played it yet already, I will let you know when you should basically tune out and play it for yourself. So let's get into it and see what we can find out. So the first thing you need to do in your browser, it could be anything, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Chrome. If you're just in Google, I guess, type in BridgeBase Online, or you might even get away with BBO. And if you type in BridgeBase Online, it'll start to come up with the BBO page. You can simply click on this and this will take you to the BBO web browser. Now there's kind of three versions of BBO and they're all different. The main one that's used is going to be this online web browser, which I'm in. There's also an app. Now that has different capabilities. I'm not going to go into that today, mostly because I don't know how to bring up an app basically on the computer. And there's also a downloaded version which you won't really be able to access, but you might have had it if you started playing BBO, I don't know, like 5 years ago. So the most common one is going to be using the web client or the web browser. And you get to this page where you've got login/register. So this is how we get started. If you do have a BBO account already, it's nice and easy. You just log in and you'll know how to do that. If you don't have an account, simply click on become a member. That'll take you through the prompts and it's nice and easy to sign up. They just send you an email and get you going straight away. So I'm going to log in, and I think the first thing we might have a look at is our, why not our Bridge Master? So this is the main home page. Now there's a few things that you might not have noticed about it. It's good to actually just take a little while to familiarize yourself with it. Now what we have is a news feed, so this will tell you basically all the things that are going on, and it gives you some articles. And what you can basically do is click on them, have a look at them, and it just keeps you up to date with what's happening on BridgeBase. They've got some different featured areas, and again, at your leisure, just go through these and familiarize yourself with them. Now, what I use most of the time are these, I guess, links over here. So we can either do practice or casual, competitive, or solitaire. Now with practice, this is one of the most interesting things that we can do, because what we can do is we can use the Bridge Master feature, set up bidding tables, teaching tables, and also basically do movies as well. So Bridge Master is one of my favorites, and what it's got is basically contracts that it gives you. It improves your declarer play, and there's 5 different skill levels of it. Now level 5 truly is world class. We often have trouble figuring them out. It can take us sort of 10 minutes when we've got a brains trust of 2 or 3 or 4 people to figure out some of the hands. So world class truly is world class. For most of us, it'll basically be sort of levels 1 to 3 that you focus on. Some of you that are more experienced have a crack at level 4, and if you're really game, give level 5 a go, but don't worry, it will be a bit frustrating. So what you can do is click on a level, always good to start with 1. And what it's got is 5 free hands from each and every level. And what you can do is you can actually play them. So you click on one to start it, but if you wanted to play all the Bridge Master hands, you can actually access all the deals for 25 cents for 30 minutes. So a pretty cheap way to have entertainment for 30 minutes, but to try it out first, you should just play the practice deals. And you simply click on it and it gives you a hand. So for instance, this one, where what it's got is that we've landed in a contract of 6 spades. So here we are in 6 spades, and it basically gets you to start planning the play and what's going on when you plan the play. So what it does is it lets you play out the hand however you like. Just click on it and play like normal BridgeBase Online. But what it does, which is the really important part, is that it actually can get you to show the solution. Now, if we have a look at it, when you click on Show Solution, it might take a little while to load. It's taking a little while for me here, but it will come up eventually. We'll open it in a window, see if that gets it there any quicker. I'll just wait for that to load. There we go. So what we've got is West leads the King of Hearts against 6 spades. And what you can do is click this play button to go through it, and it teaches you how to make the plan. So South wins the trick with the Ace of Hearts. And this is what you should do. Your 2 of Hearts can go away on North's King of Clubs, and that's because there's an extra winner over there that we can discard our little 2 of Hearts on. So what we want to do is leaving South's only possible losers in the diamond suit. You do have some timing problems. If diamonds prove to be 3-3 or 4-2, South can easily take all 13 tricks. So you should cash the ace of clubs, cross to the king of diamonds, and discard that 2 of hearts on the king of clubs. So getting rid of it straight away. Cash the ace of diamonds and cross ruff the rest of the tricks high. And this is because basically what ends up happening is that all your trumps are equally as high. You've got the 9, the 8 and the 7, which don't seem like they're that high, but considering you've got the ace, king, queen, jack and 10, they're all equally as good. And so this way you can just keep cross ruffing. So we can take the tricks separately by ruffing all of the diamonds with all the spades and then ruffing the other ones, basically using the top trumps. And this is a strategy of taking the tricks separately. So what you can do when you actually, I guess, play around with Bridge Master is that you have a fiddle with playing out the hands yourself and seeing how you go, and then it'll tell you basically how you should have made your plan and done the hand. And it's a really good training tool to improve your declare play. One thing you will notice is that it doesn't actually have any bidding in it. It just simply gives you the contract. Now the reason for this, I guess, is that they want you to all get to the same contract, and it's about the percentage play that's going to be correct for that particular hand. So that's how you can do Bridge Master. I'll get out of here for now, but it's in the, if we go back to our home screen, it's in Practice, then it's in Bridge Master, and you can click on each of the levels. It's got 5 hands that you can practice for each level. If you wanted to access all deals, it's only 25 cents for 30 minutes, and clicking that will show you how you can actually deposit BBO dollars. It is US currency though as well, just to let you know. So that's how we can use Bridge Master, one of my favorite teaching tools. You can also get the Bridge Master as a CD, which is basically the same, but it's a computer program that you can download. Now we've also got Bridge Movies, and this is where there's interactive articles that basically go through different hands, and you can actually have a look at them all. So you can enter into about them and find out a little bit more. But yeah, basically it's a presentation called Bridge Movies, and that's another thing that you can do if you wanted to look at sort of those training tools. Now, I don't often use this, but I think it is a good way of being able to, I guess, have a look through it all. Alright, now here's one that I do use quite a lot, and this is one that you can use if you're by yourself or if you want to do some practice with a partner, and it's particularly awesome to use if you've just learned a new convention or you really want to practice a particular area of your bridge. And this is Start a Bidding Table, and sorry, it is just about bidding. There's no card play in this one. So the other one, Bridge Master, just card play, no bidding. This one's just bidding, no card play. So what ends up happening, you click on Start a Bidding Table and it gives you all these options. In all honesty, you don't need to worry about basically any of them. Just to go through them, the format of scoring, I wouldn't bother about this at all because it's just a bidding table. In fact, it's got bidding clicked. You don't need to put a description. Opponent's bidding, so this is what competition that you have. You can either control it yourself or get them to pass throughout. Our privacy options, that's whether you want to allow other people to watch you, if people need permission to play, and invisible would mean that your table's not listed. Now what you can do, if you did have your partner online to bid with them, if you know their username, you simply type in their username here, and that'll reserve a seat for them, and it'll also, when we start the table, give them an invitation as well. So you can say start table, and you didn't even need to do any of those settings. You could just start a table. So I've sat down here because this seat was reserved for me, but what I also want to do is click that I'll have a robot playing with me. If you did have your partner, they'll just automatically get that invitation, or they'll have to find you and join your table. So I'll put a robot in there. So what happens, as you can see, I just get dealt any random hand, and we can see that I'm the dealer here. So I'm going to start off with 1 heart for this one. And my partner ends up bidding. I'm going to bid 2 diamonds here. This is my way of showing an unbalanced hand and that I've got 5 hearts and 4 diamonds. And here my robot's used a conventional bid. Now, what you can always do is, it's a good idea to cursor over what their bids mean. So this is 4th suit forcing. Now my partner, they're playing a convention here, which is one that the robots play, called 4th suit forcing. where basically they're saying nothing about clubs. They're just saying that we have to go to game and I want you to tell me more about your hand. So my partner's got 13 or more points there. So I'd probably bid 3 diamonds with this one, playing 4th suit forcing. Usually it's a good idea to what we call shape out, and I bid 2 diamonds showing 4 or more diamonds. 3 diamonds is my way of showing 5. So my partner said they still like spades. I'm going to now say 3 no trumps because I do have a stopper in clubs. And then we'd get to sort of 3 no trumps. I did have some extra points. And then what it does, you don't play out the hand at all, but what you simply do is you get to see what all the hands were like. You can put robots in as the opposition as well, so they'll actually do some bidding too. So you can do this with just randomly generated hands, which will be what you automatically go into. But what I like to be able to do is when I've got a hand that I want to be able to focus on, I guess, some different conventions that I want to use, I like to go to this deal source button, and you can tweak things a little bit so that you can basically practice a convention that you wanted to use. Or if you wanted to just basically practice one particular area, you can do this. Now, it's about knowing how, I guess, to go about it. The first thing you want to do is know how to use these settings up the top here, where there's general, north, south, east, west, and advanced. So in the general settings, the first thing is dealer. So who's going to be the dealer? If I wanted to practice my bidding as opener, I'd always want to be the dealer, for instance. So what I'd do is I'd untick everybody else. So now North can be the only player that's the dealer. With the North-South high card points, this is how many high card points at a minimum and a maximum that your partnership's going to hold. Generally, if you're doing bidding practice, I like to have a minimum of 16. It basically just means that you'll get something going with your partnership. Then what you can do across the top here is you can actually select each individual player. So for instance, myself, North. If I wanted to practice, say for instance, opening no trumps, what I'd want to do is roughly create myself a balanced hand. So maybe I'd want to give myself 2 or 3 cards in each suit. And this is what I do with the hand type category. So what I can do is I can create my hand type 1, and then I can end up basically manipulating what's going on, and I can do that and just press close, and that would automatically happen now. This is where I also change the high card points for myself, and I can give myself a minimum number of points. So I'd probably want to do that if, for instance, I wanted to practice opening. I'd want to up this to maybe 12 so that I'd always have enough high card points, maybe even just 11, to end up, I guess, being able to definitely open the bidding. And you can save different hand types as well, and you can manipulate these for each player. In the advanced, I wouldn't really go into this too much. That's basically an area, in all honesty, that I basically know nothing about. We also have the save deals, and if you're familiar with how to use My BBO, you can even upload saved deals. So if you wanted to create hands for yourself, say you wanted to, and it does involve quite a bit of time, but if you wanted to practice bidding something specifically with your partner, you can create a folder which has saved deals. And then if you had those, you could simply click select. And when you go through this, if you click on redeal, which is how we actually use it, we say redeal, that'll give us a new hand. And once you've bid that hand, what'll happen, I'm going to be passing throughout here, but what will happen is, again, that it'll show you all the hands once the auction's over. And redeal's how you go to that next hand. Now, just in terms of how you actually create those hands yourself, where you've got My BBO up the top here, what you can do is a thing called hands and results. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing things. You can create hands in BBO. You could also create them in a different program. I often use Dealer 4. And what we do is for instance, create a new folder, and you just give it a name. How about we call it today's date? We say create new folder, and what it's done is it's created me a folder down here. What I can then do, if I go into the hand editor, this creates a page where I can actually upload or create hands myself. Now you can click on each player, that's how you're going to allocate the hands. And once you've got the player with yellow, what you can do is you can click on which cards you want them to have and basically keep going until you've got 13. Now, the reason this is beneficial, if you've done a session at a club or anything like that where you've learned to convention, they've probably given you a list of hands and you can actually input them in yourself. And what it means is you could actually upload this into your BBO and bid them with your partner, which is quite valuable. So what you do is you simply create the hands. It automatically moves around clockwise. So once South has 13, it clicks on West. And you can click on the cards and it'll start to fill up the hands. If you wanted to, you can jump across to the next one. So I could go to East and put in some cards there, then go back to North. It's something you probably need to play around with a bit to, I guess, get competent with. Next thing it asks you to do, click on the seat of the dealer. So for instance, I'd click South. And then what you can do is you could put in bidding if you like, but you probably don't want to do that if you want to practice them. So then what we do, you've got all these options and different ways of doing things, but the quickest way, you export the deal and we click Save Deal As. And then what happens here is it gives it a random title that's generated. You could change this as well to maybe make it, for instance, 1 no trump hands or whatever you wanted to save that particular deal as. And then you find the folder that you've got and you click on Save. Now, if in your BBO, we went back to my BBO, and what I could do is would now in my folder, Monday 19th of December, if I clicked on show, what I could do here is see the hand that I've just created. And if I created more hands, they'd all be listed in here as well. So this is the My Hands and Results feature, and it's a whole separate window, so you do have to close it. But what it means that I could do, if I wanted to, I could go into my deal source in my bidding table. Under Save Deals, what I could do is I could find I've got a few of them in here, you wouldn't have any at this stage. I can find that folder that I created, and then when I click Redeal, I'm going to have the same hand that I actually created. So if you'd created a folder with sort of 20 or 30 of these that you really wanted to practice with your partner, you'd be able to, I guess, manipulate it so that you can practice exactly what you wanted to practice. And bidding, it's basically one of the quickest ways if you're starting a new partnership as well, just to suss out each other's styles and check on conventions. So bidding practice, one of my favorite areas in BBO, and just to go through it, the way that we get there, from our home screen, we click on practice, then we click on start a bidding table. And that's how we basically get into the bidding table. You could even just click start table and then you can sit down. This is also a function that you can use without actually having to pay for robots as well. Anyone can do it. You just simply click on robots and it'll mean the robots are sitting in those seats. Do remember they do play a slightly different system to what you play, but you can always cursor over their bids to find out what they're doing. So using the bidding practice, one feature that I really like, especially for new partnerships. You can also do things like start teaching tables. These ones are good in the sense that they do let you play the boards as well. But what you could do here, as the host, you actually get to see all the hands. So have a play around with teaching tables. There's bidding and play. You do need robot dollars to actually use robots in the teaching table though. So you can't actually do the teaching tables without having BBO dollars, but it's a way that you can also practice the card play playing with one of your partners. You can of course do that in the main area of the Bridge Club as well, just in the play sections, but you'll be playing against other people. So they're the main functions that I like to do in the training tables and the teaching tools, and I find that they're really good things that you can do either by yourself or with your partner. You can't do Bridge Master with your partner, but working on your declare a play, especially over the holiday period, is one thing that you can do by yourself when your partner might not be available. So then you've got some different options. That's basically practice. Casuals, I guess, taking you to sort of a casual game. You can start tables, but you've also got a few other different links that you can do. One of them that you can do is actually just watch. So you can actually ask them to just take you to an interesting table if you wanted as well. Now from our competitive point, this is where you look at the tournaments and challenges. If you're just starting to really get into BBO, maybe leave this until you're a little bit more comfortable with playing in it. But one thing that I really like, and I'd be very happy to challenge anyone, is this challenges area. So what happens with the challenges area is you can challenge a friend. So what it does is it gives you back to basically a challenge where you and your friend play the exact same boards and we see who does better. So what you can do is you can choose your scoring, whether it's imps, match points, or total points. Most of you will probably just play match points or imps. The number of boards that you want to play, and you can change that. Best hand means, will you be guaranteed the best hand at the table? Generally, it's a good idea to probably keep this clicked. It'll mean that your hands, and don't forget your challenger will be also playing the same hands as well, but it means that you're going to have the best hand at the table, which will just make it a little bit interesting. The rest of the players are robots. Then all you do to invite a friend is you type their username and you say create challenge. The other thing you can do, if you didn't have a friend on BBO, you can also challenge a stranger as well. They've also got their about section, which we'll go through it a little bit more, just to, I guess, keep you going and have you know what's going on. So that's in our competitive area. There's also the tournaments that you can do, real money games, teams matches as well, none going on at the moment. But that's where you set up those sorts of functions. Solitaire is another really popular area, so this one's at the top. And this is where we're going to get into the free weekly instant tournament. Now, if you haven't played it before, maybe it's a good idea to simply watch this one. But what happens is BBO uploads a tournament every week, and I think it gets uploaded on Friday, where what it does is it gives everybody the same hands, and you get compared to about 14 other players who are playing the boards that you're playing as well, and it basically shows you how you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the weekly free tournament. Pete plays it Tuesday afternoon, but what you can do is you can go in, you can play the tournament, then you can actually watch Pete and how he plays the tournament on Tuesday and see how you compare. So let's have a go at it, and if you are going to play the weekly free tournament this week, probably best to tune out now. So this is for the 19th of December. So you simply click on it, and what happens is it automatically takes you to the table. You're ready to go, and it gives you these challenges. So here we are, we're playing I'm South, my partner's passed, and East has bid 4 hearts preemptively. And so what am I going to do here? Now I've got this nice, or sort of nice, 6-card spade suit. Points wise, what have I got? 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. It could be quite possible that we are going to miss a 4-spade game if I don't bid here. What I am actually going to do is bid 4 spades. Basically, I don't want to allow the opponents to rip me off of my game contract, and hopefully I'll be able to make 4 spades. Okay, so here we go. On this hand, what do I have? If I start to think about it, my losers in spades, I've got 2 spade losers, I've got 1 heart loser, 1 club loser, and a diamond loser as well, so it's not looking like a particularly great situation at the moment. And they've led a heart straight away. So thinking about the hearts, I know the count on the hand quite well. I know my East robot is going to have 7 hearts, and basically the West robot, this will be their only heart. So I don't really want to have to duck this one and then have them give their partner a ruff. I also know they've got a quite good suit. They've got the King, Queen, Jack, and basically the 10 and all those pips. So interesting to see, I guess, what I do here. So I'm going to win this heart because basically I don't want to duck it and then have them give them a ruff. And then what to do. So on this hand, I've only got my 1 entry with the Ace of Hearts. Just noticing, it's interesting here. What you will see is that the East robots actually played the King of Hearts. Now this is a really good signaling method. Where if you discard an honor, it's either because you're or if you follow with an honor, sorry, it's either because you're going to be playing the honor because it's the only one you have, or alternatively, in a situation like this, it's a really good way of signaling to your partner that you've got all the honors below it. So you've got the King, the Queen, the Jack, basically all of the honors. Okay, so it then comes up to what am I going to do now? Now I've actually got an interesting problem here because I really don't have too many entries, do I? This is the only entry that I'm going to have to my partner's hand. what it means is that I probably want to be able to come up with something that's going to, I guess, do something useful with this entry. Playing a spade at this stage probably isn't going to be that useful because I could just play a spade out of my hand. If I look at clubs or diamonds though, I do have this problem with the fact that I am missing the kings in both the suits, and what I want to be able to do is take finesses in them. Now ideally I'd like to take both of them. I'm only going to be able to take one as it turns out. I might take the club finesse because that automatically gets rid of a loser if it does work, and in all honesty it's not a good sign if East can play the 10. Okay, there we go. So that one worked, and straight away I've gotten rid of a loser for my side, so that's good. Now what I might do here, I've got a bit of a problem. I know they're going to be able to take a heart and sort of keep pushing some hearts through. Now that I've gotten rid of that loser, it's probably best for me. I could just draw trumps, or I could play out my ace of clubs as well. Maybe I'll start off with a trump and we'll see what happens. Okay, so counting down the trumps, the opponents now have 3 trumps left. Okay. Interestingly, I probably could have given West a bit more of a problem had I actually have, I guess, played my club first. Okay, so they keep playing clubs, and hopefully now, if East doesn't actually have the last spade, what I'm going to be able to do is make a discard. Alternatively, oh, he didn't play the king. Sorry, I missed a card before. I could have just played low there and still would have forced out the king. But that's how it is. I really needed to play low there. Oh well. So we'll rough that one, get rid of that last trump. And unfortunately here, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have to sort of give up a diamond and a heart as well to go one down. I'm not sure if I would have gotten out of it had I actually played just a small club. Probably not. Okay, the opponents will keep on to the right thing. What did I do there? Ah, I missed a trump. Ah, they broke badly. That's what I get for focusing too much on what was going on and not actually looking at the hand, trying to talk and do this at once. So it didn't work out too well for me. But I did score 71%. I probably could have played that a little bit better having actually noticed the break. But let's have a look at what everybody else did. So what you'll see up the top here is it basically comes up with your score. North-South match points, that's what you got. It is a match point tournament. And it'll show the other scores that everybody else got. So some people were going down quite a bit more on that one. So they were going down 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 2 down, maybe not as bad as I thought it was, even though I wasn't really concentrating on it. So what did they do? They took the diamond finesse rather than the club finesse. And that's what basically did it for them. So that's a bit of a shame there for them. Would have meant that they do get to rough a diamond. So that's how they ended up going down quite badly. They basically then got to sort of play a heart and rough a heart, and it all goes absolutely horribly then. So 2 down, shouldn't have been complaining about that, scored 71%. So that takes you on to the next one automatically. So here I am, and I've got a nice hand. It looks like about 15 points with an unbalanced hand. So just start off with my 1 spade, 2 diamonds from their overcall, and my partner's bid 2 spades. So here I like to count shortage points. I think you've got 2 options on this hand. You could just bid 4 spades. Alternatively, you could also make a trial bid as well. So something like 3 clubs as a long suit trial. Okay, so here we go. This all looks quite nice. At this stage, if I count my losers, what I've got is hopefully no losers in spades, no losers in hearts. I'm counting from my hand, so my ace of hearts will take care of the 10, then I can trump. In clubs, I can't see them breaking all that nicely, but you never know. It looks like West might be leading a singleton or something like that, or one hand might have a singleton because there's only going to be a total of 4 of them out. And then in our diamonds, we have a bit of a problem. I actually need to count this as 3 losers, which is quite a lot, because if the diamonds keep getting pushed through and they can actually, I think I actually only need to count it as 2, but yeah, I do basically have some problems. So we'll play low from here and see what happens. Okay, so that's the jack gone. Now, interestingly, if there's if West is leading a low one from an honor, what it means is that they've led from a 3-card suit, which is a little bit unlikely. So we'll have a look at how this goes now. I think it's probably more likely that East, for instance, might have 3 of them. Okay, so I don't really have a reason not to draw trumps now. I'm going to win this one and draw my trumps and see how it goes. Okay, so far they're breaking nicely. And we'll play another one. Okay, so that's all the trumps gone. Now we're going to have to see how the clubs go. What I can basically expect here is that probably they're going to be 3 with East, which is going to mean I have to lose one. But we might as well give it a shot to see how we go. Yep, so it was a singleton lead from our West player. It won't really matter when I let East win a club, but I'll let him win this one. And I want to unblock this 10 as well. So get rid of that one because that'll be the only clubs. Now here what I can do, I will have to lose 2 diamonds, but I can, I guess, basically sort of finesse them. Okay, so there we go. I do have to lose the 2 diamonds. And now I have extra winners, too many winners at this stage. And what you can do, if you've got the rest of the tricks, you can also click the claim button. So making 4 spades, I scored 60% for that one. Lots of people were in 4 spades. Some people only got to 3 spades, and the way they got there was they actually just passed the 2 spade bid and their partner competed. Personally, I think this hand's probably a bit too strong that you wouldn't want to just be able to play in 3 spades. You want to be able to keep a move on to 4. I like to count shortage points to a certain extent, and this hand with 15 high card points and also 3 shortage points means game will be a really good shot. Okay, so on to our third one. We're here, I'm the dealer, and what have I got? I've only got 13 points. I know that seems bad to say I've only got 13 points. But what generally happens with these tournaments is that it's a best hand tournament. So I'm guaranteed that my hand is either equally or the best hand in the room. So it means that at most another player is going to have 13 points. So here we go. I opened a club on this one. Some people had opened a diamond playing better minor, but I opened a club. That'll just depend on your style with your partner. So once my partner bids 1 heart, I can simply raise them to 2 hearts because we have a fit. We don't need to find another fit once we've found 1 major suit fit. Now, my partner's 2 spade bid here. This is also based on the premise that they don't need to be looking for another fit once we've found a major suit fit. So it means that what they're doing is they're actually making a game try bid, and they're saying, I've got some stuff in spades. What do you think, partner? Do you want to go to game? And they already know that I'm sort of like 12 to 15 total points. So they're asking me not only if I'm closer to 12 to 15 or to 12, but also if I've got any help for them in spades. Now here, I kind of fit in the middle. I've got 13 points, but I do have a lot of help for them in spades. So typically what I do here, because I know spades are going to, oops, sorry, I wanted to bid 4 hearts there. Okay, I did want to bid 4 hearts there, but yeah, typically what I'd be looking to do is, because I did have help for them in spades, I'd put the contract into 4 hearts. Now, interesting, because everybody else in the world would be in 4 hearts in theory. But I'm in 4 spades, which is not looking good, truth be told, because it looks like they're actually going to get to ruff a heart. So they're going to get the ace, king of hearts, and also a heart ruff, and probably the king of spades as well. Okay, that was a beautiful switch. Very happy to see that switch. Wow, okay, that's good. Interesting. I love the way the robots make their switches. It's, yeah, quite a funny thing to see. So at this stage, I've got one heart to lose. I've also got myself one spade, two spades potentially to lose. Hopefully now what I can do is not lose a diamond and only actually lose one heart as well. So we'll see how this goes. The diamond position's a little bit interesting. I'll just put in the 10 and we'll see what happens there. Okay. Alrighty, so what's happened at this stage? My 10's held. In all honesty, that's not really a good sign because it does mean that the diamond is going to be offside. So what can we do here? This isn't looking good. 3 no trumps would have been an awesome contract. Unfortunately, of course, not there. So I probably don't have any reason not to draw out trumps. My best way of playing this is basically going to be to cash the ace and generally probably lead low towards the queen. Okay, so there we go. This isn't a good sign because I know that the king's likely to be offside. It's not definitely offside, but it's very likely to be offside. At this stage, I've lost 2 tricks already. I need to lose a heart as well. Now I can either take definitely going down 1 here, and assuming that East does have the king of diamonds, have to lose that one. I don't really, I guess, want to take... I also open myself up to the possibility of a ruff, which is a bit of a problem here as well, if East did have, say, king to 4. I think I'm going to bail out for 1 down, hopefully. It could still be more than 1 down, but hopefully I'm going to be out of here for 1 down, because I've still got a problem in my hearts at this stage, which isn't great at all, really. So we'll see what ends up happening. Okay, yeah, this is really not good at all. So the hearts were breaking badly as well. East had the singleton king, a very odd lead for them to have, but it now means that basically I've got the ace and the jacks sitting over me. So this isn't going to be great. They're going to win 2 hearts and also a diamond at this stage. No matter what I do. 2 hearts and a diamond. So yeah, bit miserable. I would have ended up, I guess, going down in 4 hearts anyway. But yeah, it would have been nice to not have to, I guess, play at the 4 level. Surprisingly, 71.4%. No idea how that happened. Maybe it's because people in hearts are going down just as much. So people playing in 3 hearts went down 2 as well. 4 hearts went down 3. Now, I definitely should have been in 4 hearts. Definitely not in 4 spades. I raised the long suit trial rather than just raising the suit that we had actually settled as trump. So that wasn't a good move. But yeah, we'll definitely take that one. Interestingly, somebody passed this one out. Not too sure how they managed that, but they scored 100% for it, so lucky them. Who's Alex? Alex from Italy. There you go. Okay, so here we go. 4th board in, and this is an 8-board tournament. A heart, pass, and no trump. I've just got a pass of this one. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that I can really do with my hand. And it's interesting because I know that I've got the best hand here, so it means that it's probably quite a distributional hand. Yeah, that's going on. Okay, so I've probably got some good chances of beating this. We'll see how we go. So my partner's led a heart. At this stage, thinking about in defense, I guess, where our tricks are going to come from, I've definitely got our 2 tricks in the 2 aces. Partner might also have a spade trick. Hopefully, I guess to get to 4, we might need 2 spades, a diamond, and yeah, 2 spades, a diamond, and a club. Alternatively, if we've got 2 club tricks, that could also be an option. One thing I don't really want to do here is play back a spade and I guess potentially set up a discard. So I might try a club now and we'll see what happens there. Okay, so partner had the king of clubs, so that's a good sign. Don't know if I like the club return. because what we're now doing is setting up to Clara's side suit, which is not a good thing to do. So I guess I'll play a spade and hope we've got that one, which we don't. Okay, so where's our fourth trick coming from? I need a fourth trick. In all honesty, it's not looking all that great. Okay, I've drawn the last trump, and the Jack of Clubs will be a discard, and also the Queen of Spades. So yeah, this isn't a good sign. Partner had to switch diamond, as it turns out, and not play that extra club, and we would have gotten them down that way. But instead, what they did was they continued a club. I only scored 17 for that one. Some people were getting it down. How did they convince their robot partner to get it down? So what they did, they continued a spade. Interesting that I guess this sort of I guess it can work this way, because partner will get in and switch diamond, which is what you really needed. The robots make some interesting leads. The more standard approach with these sorts of hands is that you actually lead the second highest from 4 small. I've got someone playing alongside me and comparing results. Somehow you've scored 82.84% at board 5 at the moment. Nice. Stayed in 4 hearts on board 3, and board 1 passed and they went down 2. Nice. So we've got someone playing alongside and at the moment doing a lot better than me, especially after my 17% on board 4. Okay, so board 5, let's see what you're doing arc turn on this one. Partners bid 2 spades, which is just a weak 2, so they're just showing 6 spades and sort of 6 to 9 points. Now, I definitely want to keep going on this auction, but it's where do I actually want to go to? Now, having partner have a weak hand, it's really interesting to think about how the 2 hands will interact. And the reason for that is that we know that all their power's in spades. So it means that I guess we're going to have some problems getting backwards and forwards from the hands if spades aren't trumps. Now, I think there's a few different options on this hand. One of the standard options would sort of be to bid the hearts, which I think should be natural and forcing the way that they play it. So it is. The other option would be to bid 3 no trumps. Personally, I don't really like this one because of the fact that, again, it means that we can't really get to partner's spades. Another option would be potentially actually bidding 4 spades on the hand. And truth be told, I think it's what I'm actually tending towards, even though we could only have 7 of them. Basically, at this vulnerability, partner's spades should be quite good. So I'm going to bid 4 spades and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so here we are. It turns out that I guess that potentially 4 hearts would have been better. We've got the King of Clubs lead. Interestingly, that can sort of, I guess, a fair bit promote sort of what's going on. Now, in terms of, I guess, setting up tricks for this one, there you go, hearts would have been a fair bit better. If I count losers from my partner's hand, so if I can capture the, well, in spades, we'll go 1 by 1. In spades, what I have is that I've got, I guess I have to count this as sort of up to 3 losers. I've only got a 7 card fit. Hopefully, if they break nicely, what it's going to mean is that I've got 2 losers. No losers in hearts. I've got 3 losers in clubs. And I've also got some losers in diamonds as well. So interesting, I guess, with how to go about it. What I potentially want to do is duck this club and make them do something else. Alternatively, just trying to think, so if I duck this club, win the next one, I'll be able to trump a club potentially. And what that might mean is that if I can trump a club, how many will I lose now? If I can discard, lose 1 club, lose 2 spades, and hopefully I might potentially be able to actually discard my diamonds on the hearts. That might end up working for me. It gives me some problems. What about if they switch? So just thinking about if they ended up switching. Switch wouldn't be too bad for me. Mind you, I might end up losing a club, a diamond, and 2 spades if I do that. If they switch, sorry. So maybe what I end up having to do here is, I guess, sort of... it's tricky, isn't it? Okay, so... let's see what they do. If they don't switch diamond here, they've potentially got some problems if I do actually duck this. Just trying to think about the situations where I might even... I can't actually ever pick up the... it's a bit messy. Could also try pitching clubs. Then I still lose 2 clubs. I think I'm basically doomed in this one. Just thinking about how good 3 no trumps would be. Alright, let's duck it. Basically hoping for a missed defense at this stage. I think they have to switch to a diamond, which they have done. So good for them. I'm still not out of the woods at 1 down. Okay, there you go. They're roughing diamonds as well, just to make it worse. But yeah, now looking at, I guess, at least 2 down for the most part. So now that this has happened... what I can potentially do is draw 1 round of trumps, try to discard my clubs on hearts is probably the best I can do at this stage, but it's definitely not looking pretty, I must say. Yeah, let's try it. Not a nice spot to be in. Okay, so they've all followed there. And how did they break? Alright, so I can, I guess, rough, so this player, that means both spades are now offside as well, which isn't great. Good old under roughing. And finally, they're running out of trumps. Okay, so at this stage we've got the rest, but yeah, not a pretty place to be as it turns out. 2 down, 10% there, so yeah, not a pretty place at all. A couple of people in 4 spades. 3 no trumps ended up being the winning action on the hand. 4 hearts went down 1. 3 no trumps I think gets quite lucky that it all works out nicely. It's potentially a spot just to give it a go, because if you've got 6 heart tricks and the 7th one in clubs, you only need partner to have 2 tricks. So at match points, maybe it's the go. Well, it definitely is on the hand. But yeah, I gave 4 spades a go, went down 2, so the worst result overall at the table. If partner had a nicer spade suit and not so much everywhere else, I guess that would have been a lot better for me. So 3 no trumps, you thought that was a natural bid there, but for some reason in the minority. So interesting with the 3 no trump bid. So if you're going to bid 3 no trumps with only a singleton in partner's suit after they preempt, what you're basically hoping is that you're going to have 9 tricks without them actually providing much help at all. So this hand's a bit extreme because you think that you've got 6 heart tricks and also a club trick in the bag. So if the partner can either fetch 2 spade tricks for you, or if they lead a diamond, they've set up your king of diamonds and hopefully partner will have the ace of spades. So there's definitely 3 no trump as an option here, but usually you want to be a little bit cautious about bidding 3 no trumps when you have a singleton in partner's suit after they preempt. You should only ever do it if you think you're going to take 9 tricks off the top and basically only need help from them for 1 trick. Alternatively, what you might want to do is do something, not that it worked out at all today, do something like I did and choose to play in, I guess, that 7 card fit with the hope that you can still get their trumps worth some tricks with their little trumps. So that's, I guess, what the trade-off is, and definitely bidding 3 no trumps is the winning action today. So here we go. Hopefully we're going to be moving upward, because 2 disastrous boards brings me down to 46%, and there's only 3 to go. So 1 spade by the opponents. This one's an interesting one. I've got enough points that I want to do something. So I've got, what have I got? 15 points. And I've got a couple of different options. I could end up basically overcalling my diamonds. Alternatively, I might want to make a double. Now, I'm going to do a double but there's a big but. If my partner bids clubs, I have to basically just suck it up and play there, because any other bid that I make would actually be telling my partner that I had a really strong hand. So I chose a double, but what it was doing was basically, and it's an off-shape double, was basically getting my hearts into play, because if I overcall diamonds, I'm not able to do that. But it also means that what happens here is that if partner bids clubs, I have to basically suck it up and have clubs as trumps. So the next thing, what to do here, 4 spades has come back around to me. I know I've got 3 tricks. Have I got a 4th to beat 4 spades? I don't think so, and it could easily be that 4 spades is making. I'm just going to pass it. Playing match points, maybe there's some merit for giving it a little kiss and doubling it, but at this stage I think probably just passing it out's best. An absolutely awful hand to lead from. So I've got aces in all the suits, and my trumps are the queen and a small one, so a horrible, horrible hand to play from. And so it's which one do I want to lead? Maybe I'll try the ace of clubs going for a ruff. It doesn't exactly look like that's going to be a good option, I must say. So here, assuming that, let's say the points. So what's our West robot got? So West has got 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 13, so that's 20. East will give them at least sort of 12. It means the partner has a maximum of 8 points. So interesting that the robots do sort of play a preemptive raise. Didn't know that. I thought they played pretty up and down the line limit raises. Okay, so it means that it's actually possible that if East has the king of clubs, potentially something could be running away. What do we want to do here? I think I could be going for a rough. Partner could have one. The robots don't really play any sorts of signals, so I don't really know what my partner's got. A diamond could easily be right here, but I'll pursue on with a club. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so they didn't have the king. And I'm about to lose my queen as well. It looks like a diamond would have been the winning action. If only the robots played signals. Okay, so the clubs did break, and there goes their heart. So they're going to get to discard their heart at this stage, which is rather unfortunate. So East was a 5-5 shape. Probably not going to matter too much what I discard at this point. And it's all quite sad, really. So the diamond switch wouldn't have done all too much, and there you go. I haven't even been counting as well to know what's going on. Oh, there you go. I've lost count in the suits. 5, 4, 2, 2. Okay, I can pitch my diamond. That's fine. There you go. Didn't even have the last heart. So the opponent's got 650, so if I cashed out, I would have got a very nice score there. Would have got 78%. I was more worried actually about the diamond going away than the heart going away, but it turned out because East had that extreme hand shape that they ended up being able to, I guess, make their contract even with the overtrick. Interestingly, sort of surprised my partner didn't bid when they had a 7-card suit there. Quite extreme, and at this vulnerability, 5 hearts would have been a very good sacrifice. So over the double, I thought that partner might bid 5 hearts, but not to be. Alright, last 2 boards, and hoping for some good comeback, at least get above 50%. So what did you do there, Arcturn? Did you defend 4 hearts and cash out, or what did you do? Alright, so we'll play this one, and I think I've got, what have I got, 9, 13 points again. So I'll start off with a club. And 1 heart past 3 hearts. At this stage I could make a takeout double, but I'm probably just better passing here and defending. So I'd want a bit more to make a takeout double, forcing partner up a fair bit higher. My king of hearts isn't that nice, so I've got the right shape but not enough points. Okay, so partner's led the queen of clubs. Means that basically we know the king's going to be over with West. So they're going to have all those club tricks. Interesting queen of clubs when they don't have the jack. So it shows that this will be from a shortage, and it's a weird lead to make, but the robots do lead their honours. Okay, so they've played the king here, but we already knew they had that, and I guess it's just what my partner's going to have. Are they more likely to have a singleton, or are they more likely to, I guess, have a doubleton? And it's definitely going to be more likely to be a doubleton, because also don't forget West overcalled hearts. They didn't do anything else. But, oh yeah, bid clubs. Okay, maybe that's why my partner's leading the queen of clubs, which isn't a great lead for our side. Alright, so they've got all those club tricks set up, which will be some nice discards for them. So where are we going to get our tricks? They've stopped in 3 hearts. I don't really think a club back's going to be too good. They might be able to get some discards. Why don't we try a spade and see what happens there? Okay, nothing good, that's for sure. Okay, it looks like partner definitely wanted to have that club through. Alright. Okay, so partner had a doubleton club. They could have played it a bit differently, but I could have got them the rough. If partner had the ace of spades, not the ace of diamonds, it would have been much nicer, but again, I don't think that's going to score particularly well as well, because most people just be playing back a club. The wonders and joys of match points. So if you play a club, interesting. So, oh, they actually ducked the club to force it out. Yeah, that's potentially a better option as well. So if you do duck the club on the opening lead, it forces out the king, and it just gives them a few more problems that they have to deal with. As it so happens, I think they should have been relatively... it's getting the diamond switch in rather than a spade switch. So a diamond switch, not as well, would have been better than the spade switch, because then partner can play the spade through rather than the other way. So 1 card and the difference there. Interestingly about the timing, they can't actually afford to really play a club up at that stage, because they do have the problem that if you get in, you can give partner a rough and get the promotion. So ducking the club there, the critical point. Alright, so another awful board, and this is not a weekly free to be proud of so far, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so 1 club, 3 diamonds by partner. They've called this an aggressive weak jump over call. They do have 7 or more diamonds, and also 3 or more total points, so could be awful. Alright, so what to do at this stage? So 3 diamonds could easily just sort of be the last making spot on this hand. Normally I would pass. I'm very tempted to actually bid something like 3 no trumps, just to give myself a shot at having a good score. If I'm bidding 3 no trumps, basically I'm hoping that I can get sort of 7 tricks in diamonds, trick in clubs, and also a trick somewhere else. And it's, I guess, just giving it a hope that 3 diamonds and 3 no trumps are going to make just as many tricks, and if it is going to be 9, then hopefully I can, if it is going to be 9, then I get the game bonus. Definitely rolling the dice at match points, but hey, let's give it a go. Need a good score. This is called desperation of trying to get back to it all. Alright, so partner does have 7, so we're at 8 tricks in total. Interestingly, seems like we'd get the exact same 8 tricks. Oh, we might get just 1 extra. We might be able to make 9 if we got to rough a club. Okay. Yay, robot switches! I love this. Okay, so East won the ace of clubs, but they've now played a 9 of spades back. If they played a heart back, I'd actually be cold at this point. They do their crazy switches. I don't know why they just don't keep going with their clubs, but this is what the robots do. So what it means now is if there is actually a guess in our spade suit, what it means is that if I get it right, I am actually going to make 3 no trumps. What I basically know is that East definitely won't have the Queen of Spades, the Ace of Spades, sorry, because if they had 2 aces, they might have been able to do something here. What it is possible though is that they do have the Queen, so I guess that's what I'm playing for. Okay, awesome. This is great. So I've just made this 3 no trump contract, which I should never make. They should just continue on with the club. Okay, so they're going to continue with the club. The only thing that could go wrong now is if my diamonds don't break. I did actually just misclick a diamond. I didn't actually want to play a diamond. But good news, I'm still in the right hand, and that's because I have to cash my King of Spades. If I don't cash my King of Spades, I've got no entry back over to it. So here we go, get to win my diamonds, and make 3 no trumps because they defended very, very poorly. So I will put that in as my claim for making and get that one. 82% for the final board. Let's see what everybody else did. So not a good day at the office for me in the weekly free, coming in at 11th. But just to check what happened on that final board, lots of people bidding 3 no trumps. So there you go. Apparently I wasn't as being as drastically optimistic as I thought I was. It's a hand that it's going to take a lot to make 3 no trumps, but it is, I guess, just possible. But yeah, it's a contract that definitely shouldn't be able to make. The opponent should definitely continue on with their clubs. So I'm not too sure why they didn't. But yeah, 3 no trumps, making at least a good one to finish up on. So a pretty miserable weekly free. If you've never played it before, it's a really good one to do because you can just go through and see what everybody else does. And believe me, you do have some ups and downs in it, and it is, I guess, about seeing what everybody else does with the same hands that you do. As you can see, it can work out quite poorly around the place. So thanks for watching all. I hope this has given you an insight into some different things that you can do on BBO. There's lots of different options that you can play with a partner or by yourself, and lots of different tools that you can use to improve your bridge. So thanks all for watching, and we'll see you at the start of the new year for the next beginner session. See ya!